let's ask this question. I think this will be cool because we brought you guys here because we understand that Anakin is one of your guys' favorite characters, and so let's figure this out. Because there's going to be a lot of different directions that stem from this single question. So, why is Anakin one of your favorite characters?
So that's actually a really simple, easy answer. I can totally see myself in him. Whoa, that sounded bad. You know what I meant. I think to me, he's super relatable. The whole thing with Anakin, I think, is that, and this is like, this is classic George Lucas, making things timeless and understanding human emotion, with him being an anthropology major and studying really human history and human emotion. When you boil it down to its very essence, it's all about human emotion, human history, what's ingrained in us, how we all feel, and what we believe. And that's why Star Wars is the way it is. For me, with Anakin, I mean, he boiled down is the basic. He's the weakness. He's everything that we. Oh gosh, this is tough. I could have wrote an essay on this, like a thesis. You know what I mean, like a 250-page thesis, and it's tough. It's tough to distill it down to one thing. But I mean, Anakin is the base human emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He is how, if we had no society to tell us how to act or anything else, he is how we would all act. Just based out of emotion. And so he resonates with me a lot because I think in a lot of ways, I think the same way he does when it comes to the lengths that I would go to help and save the people that I love, and the depths that I would go to. But as soon as Vader hits, we like completely we fork roads. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Just like XWing was saying, I saw a lot of myself in him. Someone who was misunderstood and didn't feel heard by the Jedi. A boy who was raised by a single mother, like I was saying, and he was trying to find a father figure in other people. And, he cared for others. His love and how much he cared for others is really like what sets off everything to happen.
It's his downfall.
It's his downfall, yeah. And like for me, I know I would often get my emotions worked up. I used to have a lot of anger issues when I was younger. And when I was watching him, I'm like, oh, this is someone else who also gets angry for reasons like this and that. And of course, I never did anything evil like Vader. I didn't. No younglings, but it's also just the idea that the character of Vader being redeemed back to Anakin, it's that ideal mindset that anyone can be redeemed. And I think that's like, it just rings true to so many different situations. That being said, though, Vader is like my favorite villain of all time, and he's just so cool, like design wise and just voice, everything. Anakin,
sexy.
Yeah. And the helmet, man. Overall, like XWing said, he's really, really relatable. And when I was like 7 or 8, he was just my favorite character. And then when the Clone Wars started, I grew up with it. I was watching it every week when it was coming out. It was just really cool to see him go on an adventure every day like that. So Anakin's one of my favorite characters of all time. So
I think that's why the Clone Wars hit so much too, and I hate to make it like a sex thing, like a gender thing, but as young men, when we watched what was going on with Anakin, we're like, damn, we relate to that. Like, no, hide your emotions. We're not supposed to be talking about that kind of stuff. And then when we watch Clone Wars, it's this total release because now we're just seeing the homie going on adventures. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is fun. This is light. This is airy. And then we go back to the PT and we're dealing with that stuff again. Like, oh, God. It's like,
And we knew where it was leading up to as well.
Yeah.
So.
I've always felt like Anakin at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, when they're rescuing the Chancellor, he acts quite a bit like he does in the Clone Wars. But as soon as, probably once he kills Dooku, and then especially when he sees Padme, reality comes back and all this stuff happens to him, that he starts kind of reverting back to the fears and the emotions that he had in episode 2 about his mother, and started reacting the same way. So
that's a great point. Yeah.
I'm thinking he is a commander in the military. You know, he's a general, and he's also a husband, a soon-to-be father. You know, he ends up being a warlord. You know, and like he is training to be like one of the most revered things in the galaxy, a Jedi Master, but he can't attain that, and he's a Jedi Knight. Like you look at all of these threads in his life, and it's like it's so complicated, and it makes sense when you see him being portrayed, and you're watching Anakin's life, because it's like he's being pulled in so many different directions, and he has so much placed on him, and they're all in conflict with one another. It's not like, oh hey, here is my calling in life, here's what I do to make money, here's my family, here's my friends. It all makes sense in it. You know, he doesn't have a comfortable life. Everything about his life is uncomfortable. Yeah.
Except Padme.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
she's what gives
that's
him
used
comfort.
against him. And for me, you know, obviously we've talked a lot about, you know, Anakin, because you really see Anakin, I think, in the prequels. I think you do see Vader, and after this we can transition. Maybe we'll talk about that Anakin and Vader for a little bit. But what I find interesting, if we're talking about how we see ourselves in Anakin, I see kind of two speeds in me. Either one, I want to be micromanaged like no other. Like, just tell me exactly what to do. Let me be mindless, because then I can disassociate and just do exactly what I'm supposed to. Or I want to be completely free. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. And in the middle ground, I do not thrive. It stretches me so much, but that's most of life is for me in that middle ground. And I see somewhat in Anakin, like he's told about his greatness and the prophecies about him, and yet he's not granted the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
And he's in this place of tension where it's like he knows, he's in his mind, he's like, I'm better than all of you. I'm the chosen one, you're not, and you're denying me. And he's trying to submit to that, but then he's also like, come on, like, it's me. And then even when he's Vader, you see that the Imperial officers and all of this, they don't. Some of them just don't respect him.
Yeah.
Like, especially in A New Hope, you know, at the Round Table.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, it's like the last of your religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to see that he feels like he's always trying to prove himself.
So their relationship really goes from this sort of her looking down on this younger guy to him sort of proving himself as a real force.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, and it's not like a oh, nobody believes in my dreams kind of thing. It's like, I know who I am, but that vision has become distorted, and he's using power and strength to basically prove who he is. But then ironically, that takes him further away. And for me, that's why I like Anakin so much, because it just feels like this tortured soul, and you're just like, you just watch this heartbreak movie after movie after movie, and then at the very end of his life, you know, that redemption, it's just like, oh dude, like, it's just, I don't know, to me it is like, you know, it's like George says, it's like poetry, it rhymes, you know. It's,
you see the echo of where it all's gonna go. It's like poetry, so if they rhyme,
it's so beautiful, you know. It's
I'm waiting
really story
for the moment when I take my kid to a Star Wars movie and the baddie says, "Have you ever heard the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker?" And I'm like, Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I'm like, I lived it. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old.
You made a really good point though about like expectations. The fact that he's the chosen one. He has so much expectations, and I feel like us as humans, we have a lot of expectations ourselves, like our own expectations of ourselves, what our parents or friends, or for me especially, I have a lot of expectations and goals that I want to reach. And when I have like my family or something kind of not see my progress on it, or they want more of me, they expect more of me, it is just so, it's frustrating. And that's exactly what Anakin feels. The Jedi have all these expectations for him, but then he's like, Obi-Wan, he's holding me back. That's just another layer of relatability I see with him.
Yeah.
I think that I kind of have two reasons. One, why he's my favorite, or one of my favorites, is his character development, just from that little boy into the mask coming off at the end of Return of the Jedi. Just how much happens and how he's developed. I think he's a really well-written character. And I think the other reason is I relate to him too, in different things, like for instance how kind of like being overlooked or unseen. Like I mean I've been there like so many times, and it's so easy to get frustrated and be like, what is going on? So I understand. I control my anger a lot better than Anakin, but I can understand his anger, and I can understand sometimes why he's acting in the way he does, because I'm like, yeah, I don't like, what more are you guys wanting out of me? I can't, like, I'm giving everything and I'm still unseen, I'm still unnoticed, like, it's just that I relate to that.
Yeah.
And especially too, I mean, I hate to keep going back to it, but I mean the Revenge of the Sith novelization, when they go hunting for Grievous, there's the battle over Coruscant going, and they're like, where are Anakin and Obi-Wan? They are intergalactic celebrities at this point. Everybody knows who Anakin and Obi-Wan are. He's been made into a celebrity. So beyond that, he's been told now at this point that he's the chosen one. You're the savior of the galaxy. He knows he's more powerful than all the other Jedi. He made his lightsaber by himself when he was 12 years old. He's been frozen in carbonite. He's done all these different things. Now he's winning a war single-handedly with somebody else. With all of that, even with all these people telling him how amazing he is and all this stuff that he's destined to do for and blah, 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 we're not going to give you the rank of master.
What?
Literally.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to kill every single one of you. Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got no bombs about it. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
After everything else too, mom's dead, I'm in love with somebody, but I'm not allowed to be in love with them. Now my mom's dead, but I'm a celebrity, and you're telling me I'm amazing, but you're telling me I can't be amazing at the same time. Like, stop tearing my heart in different directions.
Yeah.
The loss of his mother, his Padawan leaving, and now his wife's gonna die. It's like all these women that are central to his life are like being taken away from him.
Well, and the pressure of becoming a father. Like,
that too, exactly.
Knowing that,
Yeah. Okay, so check this out. This is Solonic said it so well. This is great. Anakin started in life as a slave and thought he would be free as a Jedi, but he felt like a slave over there. Therefore, he joined Darth Sidious, but he actually became a slave once again. He got free when he saved his son.
Yep.
Wow.
Drop the mic.
Dude.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
drop.
good.
That was it, dude. That's 100%. Yeah. Anakin was only ever free for like 5 seconds in his life, and then he died.
Literally.
Yep.
It's so tragic.
Yeah.
So sad.
And that's, look at this. That's what he says. Anakin's story
It is a
a
tragedy.
tragedy.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy we love, but it is so painful.
And even seeing the way, like eventually we'll do this for Luke, but, the way Luke basically gives him, what we would consider like a Viking burial, and like the way he honors his father. And it's like...
You know what we should do?
It's nuts.
Burn him. Vader's like... Really?
Burned again.
Really?
I mean, you look at him, he burns on Mustafar.
Yep.
And then he goes into the suit. And then at the end of the life in the suit, he burns and he becomes a Force ghost. Like there's even this like yin and yang. Like I don't know if that was I don't know if that's intentional, but I'm gonna sell it like it is.
There are some pretty funny memes about that, where the Force ghosts are looking at each other like, really, really.
Yeah. Like here we go. Anakin burned on Mustafar and he burns again on Endor.
Just the final slap in the face to our boy.
Yes.
Yeah.